All right, so if you were here during the last video, all of this stuff was already explained that we have up here uh, in the frame right now inside of our PowerPoint presentation. We have these three slides. This is separated with the moon and the sky, and we have the second slide which has this background here, and what I did was I merged the background, and the way I did that was I took the same background, duplicated it, and then I just flipped it over. So let me give you an example of that. So I took one background, I duplicated it like this, and then I flipped it over like that. And then it'll look like it's all one background. And basically I shift selected and grouped it together. So that's how I got that background there. So that's that background, and I did the same thing with the sky. Basically what I did was I took the sky, duplicated it, and flipped it over. So then I pushed it over like that, and I grouped them, and I have one long sky. Okay, so that's the only main change between the last video and this video. And the only other change I made in the first slide, is that I put the mountains in front from the second slide. So I took one of those mountains that I cut out, and I put them in here in the front. And the reason why I did that, because for the zoom in, I don't want everything zooming in at the same time. I wanted the mountains zooming in faster than the background, and the moon zooming in even slower than that. So that's why I had to separate these, so it can have a little bit more realism to it. Not that we want it to be that real, but it really doesn't matter. The little bit of animation that you do, the small little animation that you do, actually makes the whole thing look better. So what I'm going to do here is, according to my storyboard, the camera zooms in. So I'm just going to select everything here. So I held down shift and select everything. And I'm going to go to my animations pane here. And I'm going to click on the little arrow there. I'm going to hit shrink and grow. And now it shows that it's growing there. The only thing I want to do here is I want to slow down this background image. So I don't want that growing as fast. So I select it. I'm going to make the duration to this to like something like 6. And then for these mountains, when I select that, I can see that this is selected. I want the duration to be 600. I mean 600. And then I can double click on that, go over here, go down here to custom, and change that to 100, something like that. And actually 100 is not going to grow at all, so I need it to be past 100, so maybe 110, something like that. So I can click OK on that and then preview all of that. And as you can see, they're all moving at different speeds. You can barely see the moon moving, but that's kind of what I wanted to happen. So that scene is done. Now all I need to do is go to this scene. I need to take my plane. I shrunk my plane just a little bit. And the idea is that the plane comes in and the camera's locked onto the plane, and then we move in this way. So if I were to do this right, I would animate the plane first going forward. So I select my plane, go to animation, click on the arrow, go to the line, and I'm going to want this to, instead of going down, I must grab that little red dot. I'm going to drag it where I want it to be. Something like that. I'm going to click on this option, and as you can see, I could have put to the right, something like that. So you see it moving, it's moving to the right. So I didn't really have to do the dragging. I just could have selected that I wanted it to go to the right. And I'm just going to make it go a little bit further out this way. So I'm going to select that red dot, and I'm just going to drag it a little further out. Something like that. Now I can preview that. And the plane comes in. Let me go about right there. And I want it to go a little slower, so I'm going to make that 3. And I don't want it to start on click, I want it to start with previous. and then I can preview that. There we go. Perfect. Now, right after that, or as that's happening, I want these, all of these, to move, except for the moon. I want those to move to the left. So I can go ahead and do the same thing I did before, except this time when I click on the line, what I want to be able to do is click on there. That's fine. So really what I need to do is I'm going to select this one and shift select this one. And then I'm going to go up here to the effects option and put, I want these to go to the left. There we go. Now I want them to go really far to the left because I want this whole thing to kind of end up at the end of the frame. So since I have both of them selected already, actually I have one of them selected, so I'm going to select this one. And then I can drag it over to the right until the whole thing moves over. So I'm going to select this one and then drag this one also. So now let's see how far that goes. I'm going to preview that. Move in a little bit. Preview that. Obviously it's going too fast, but that's pretty much what I wanted there. I can even push this a little further over. And actually, I don't want this one to go as far or as fast as the background. So I'm going to select this background, hit to bring that to 10, and I'm going to select these mountains, bring that to 8. The second thing I want to do is go here and with previous, select this one. And that's also going to be with previous there. And I'm going to run that. That's what I wanted right there. That looks much better. Now the background is still moving, so I can go ahead and expand this one too so they can all move at the same time. Now the next thing I want to do is I want to add one of these lines to my moon because I need it to move to the left, so I'm going to select that. It's going to make the moon go down. Obviously that's what I wanted, so I'm going to select the moon animation. I'm going to go here to the effect, and I want it to go to the left like that. Except I need it to go a lot slower, and so I'm going to go with previous, and I'm going to make that also 10. So now when I run this, there's my animation. It's all going exactly like what I thought it should go. Now the final animation I need here is this cockpit animation. So basically I want this moon to zoom in, I want this to zoom in, and I want these mountains to zoom in. So I select all of those and I'm just going to go grow shrink. And as you can see, they're growing and shrinking at their own pace. I don't want them to grow so fast. So basically I'm going to take this one and I'm going to make that go a lot slower. Excuse me. So I'm going to make that 15. I'm going to take these mountains and they're going to grow at 10. And I don't want the mountains here. I want them to start a lot lower, something like that. And I want this to be filling up the whole screen. So there we go. So let's play that, see how that looks. Alright, well, let's try that again. This should be, I'll make that 10. Yeah, that's good. And these stars actually are not growing as, they're growing too fast. So I'm going to take these stars and I need to make those 15 or even 20 to make them grow a lot slower. They're growing way too fast. Something like that is much better. That's good. And so now from there, what I need to do is put a little motion to this thing. So I'm going to take this, my front view, my foreground view of the cockpit. I'm going to take this foreground view of the cockpit, and I'm going to go ahead and add a, I think it's called teeter. So I'm going to add that teeter there. And there that is. And I'm going to make that last a lot longer. And I'm going to make that actually last 6. And then after I make that happen, I need to make sure that it starts with previous. And I need to make sure that this one starts with previous. And now let's see what that animation looks like. And now by just adding a little bit of sound to that, we have ourselves our animation completed. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just go to this website called SoundJ. They have this plane. So I can just download the MP3. Either I can click the download and it'll open up the download, or I can right click and save as. But I've already got the download here. So I'm going to open that up. And once that is downloaded, I can go ahead and just drag it into my composition here. So there it is right there, right? I just want to make sure that it's going to play. So I'm clicking on, let me test it. Yep, that's good. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to hide during show. I want it to rewind after playing. And I want it to play across slides. And then that should be good. Now, I'm not going to put it on this one. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put it on this slide. And now I can go to animation. I'm just going to preview this really quick. I just want to preview the animation. So now all I need to do is export my slide as a movie. But before I do that, I also went to that same site and I found some more sounds that I'm able to add. You know, like maybe some music. So I'm just testing out some of these sounds. Let's see what this Iron Man is like. Not that one. Let's see what else we got. Nah. I could choose from one of these, or I can just go back here and look for transportation sounds, house domestic sounds, human sounds, communication sounds, button sounds, background sounds. Let's try nature sounds. Yeah, there we go. We can use something like this. So I'm going to go ahead and download this one. Okay, so once that downloads, I'm going to go ahead and find that howling sound. And I'm going to bring it into the first slide. So I'm going to go here, select the first slide, and just drag that sound directly into that slide. And again, with this sound, I'm going to say, play in the background, hide during show, and I can change the audio. I can trim the audio. I can even change the volume, and I can check the sound by hitting play. And also what I wanted to do is rewind after it's done playing. Second thing I want to do is take this picture here and I want to convert that to start with previous because I forgot to do that last time. So now I'm done with my movie. Now all I need to do is export this. So I'm going to go to File, Export, and create a video, and I'm going to hit create video here. All of this is fine. And now I'm just going to go ahead and name my video, and I can name this let's see what we have here. Flight 45. Hit save. When it's done, it's not going to really give you an indication here that it's done, because when you look down here you'll see it's rendering that file as we speak. So it's creating the video, and then when that's done, that will be gone. So that's where you want to look to see if your video is created. Even though the file can be seen, it's not done until that little bar is done down there, and that's how you know. So let's look at this video. Let's see how it came out. And there you have it. Pretty good video for being all in PowerPoint. And if you're confused at this video, make sure you look at all the other videos before this one, because we started off on the second video on this one. So this is the third video. So make sure you're aware of that. And good luck and have fun animating.